Hey guys, welcome back to our online devotional series. I know what's going through your mind right now. You're probably asking yourself, Neil, what in the world are you doing? Why are you running around in circles in a nursery in your church? Well, I'll tell you. I'm trying to get in better shape. You see, I know I'm not an Olympic athlete. I know that I'm not in the best shape as other people. And I haven't really been doing a good job of exercising and eating as healthy as I should be. So I thought, hey, it's July 1st. It's the start of a new month. Why don't I start doing something more proactive in trying to get in better shape? So I'm doing some laps, if you want to call it that, here in one of our church's nurseries. Just running, jogging, moving my legs, whatever it is you want to call it. Running around, getting the heart rate up. You see, all of us, whether we're members of a sports team or just not really gifted at sports at all, really need to keep ourselves in good shape. So that's what I'm doing. You can see that I am not exactly in the best of shape. Normally, after you run around a table in a nursery 6 or 7 times, you wouldn't need to be breathing as hard as I am right now. But I am. So that tells me that I need to work a little bit on getting in better shape. But the point of today's lesson is this. We're all running in our lives. We may not be running to get in better shape, which we should. I definitely should. We all need to keep our bodies healthy. But not only may we be literally running to keep ourselves healthy, we may be figuratively running from something in our lives. We may be running away from someone who has treated us wrongly. We may be running away from a decision we made that wasn't exactly healthy. We may be running to a place where we may find some temporary peace and comfort in. But we know that in reality, that place is only a fix. It's a Band-Aid on our arm. It's not going to provide us the best or permanent sense of safety. We're all running from something. And if we're running away from something, well, that just means that we're running to something else. Unless you run in place, which you can do, you're always going to be moving from something to something. We're going to be starting a new online Bible study for the month of July. It's called Run to the Father. It's a 3-lesson study on one of Christ's most famous parables, the parable of the prodigal son. If you're not familiar with this story, it's found in Luke chapter 15, and it starts at verse 11, and it goes for about 20 or so verses. And the story is very simple. A man asks for his inheritance from his father, and his father gives it to him. And then he goes out and squanders it, loses it, wastes it, and is ultimately in a pen of pigs and is praying that he has the ability to eat what the pigs are. And then he comes to his senses and says, what have I done? I wasted what my father gave me, and now I have nothing. And even the servants in my father's house live a life of happiness and safety and security. And so he goes back to his father and he pleads with his father and says, Father, I have sinned against you and our family. Please treat me as one of your servants. And as the son is coming down to the house where his father lives, his father sees him. And the Bible says that his father is filled with compassion. And the father runs toward his son and embraces him and says to his servants, quick, let's prepare a banquet, because this son of mine was gone. Now he's found. He was lost and now he's returned to me. And then at the very end of the story, it talks about the older brother and how the older brother gets angry and jealous and says to his father, look, I've been with you all this time, and yet when this son of yours comes home, when my brother comes home to you, after all he had done to disgrace himself and our family, you treat him like this. Why haven't I gotten this? And the father's remark is very simple. The father says, my son, you've always been with me, but we had to celebrate because this brother of yours was lost, and now he is found. And there are so many different ways to examine and study this particular parable. And what this study is going to do, this Run to the Father study, is we're going to explore the perspectives of the prodigal son, the son who squandered everything, the father, and the older brother. And we're going to compare their hearts with God's heart. We're going to see from their examples what they did and how they reacted to what they did. We're going to examine how the younger brother ran away from his family and then ran back. We're going to discuss how the father ran to welcome his younger son back into the family. And we're going to also see how the older brother ran away from his family in the celebration that took place when his younger brother came back. I'm excited for this study. I hope that as you go through this at your home, by yourself, or with your parents or family members, or if you even want to text, email, call me and ask questions to me about this study, I'll be more than happy to walk along with you as we take this journey together. What are you running from? And as a direct result, what are you running towards? Our hope and our prayer is that you run to the Father. That if you're running away from bad experiences or people or emotions, that you stop where you are and you turn around and you recognize and realize that God is standing there with his arms wide open saying, I love you, I care for you. There's nothing that you have done, there's nothing that has happened in your life that's going to make me love you any less than how I do right now. Our hope and prayer is that if you're running towards some difficult situations, if you're trying to run toward things that provide you with temporary pleasures, that you stop and you realize that God and his love and his grace, mercy, and forgiveness is a permanent solution to the hole in your heart, to the hole in your mind, to the hole in your spirit that you feel. So join us. Join us as we run to the Father and feel his embrace as we draw near. I want to thank you for joining us in this latest video devotion. I hope that you find ways to stay active, as I just did, and that you will join us for our next devotion.